don't like my shoe. It's not my favourite.
Oh yes, that's right. That's the sore one, isn't it, buddy? You've got to put the boot on it. You're such a good boy.
I was a very good boy. I
First
get the winky walkie and a wiki. Yeah, what do you think? I think that's a good deal, a wiki.
Wrap the gauze around the foot, and then we do one going around this way. And this is just padding, so that I have something to put the gaffer tape on, because I can't put gaffer tape on his little
What do you think, one?
Fluff. Make sure that you can still spread your toes out in there. That's one bit. Wait. And then we have a bit underneath, so that the toe's not too long for you to trip over. There. Not quite done yet. Hang on. It's so good. You're such a good boy. This is so you can go for a walk. It's very important.
Poor chap having to have a gaffer tape shoe on to go
Well, it's so much easier
walking.
if we had a proper shoe.
Yeah.
You could just Velcro on him.
But none in Castelo Branco, unfortunately.
No. So let's see. You put your foot down. Is that okay? Yeah, that looks good. I just put a little bit on there just to tidy up those corners. Nearly done, buddy. There. Now you can go for a walk.
You're free.
Yes.
I had my shoe on, Daddy. I've been a good boy.
Okay now.
I'm ready for the walkie. I'm really
We're
excited.
really taking you. Yes, we are. Whoa.
Is he coming in his box? He likes that. He used to like that when we lived in England. We'd take him up the woods in his rucksack because he's very scaredy, so he didn't actually want to come out, but he loves looking out at the nature.
Ta-da! Cat backpack!
Just a little bit. Hello, buddy. So on the last walk that we took you on, we went that way, which is where we saw processionaries. So now we're going left out of our property, leaving the wildlands. And the amount of walks around here is tremendous. There's so much choice. It's so beautiful. And this is a track that's not accessible to anything other than the four-wheel drive, because there's a massive dip in a little bit where we got stuck before we bought the wildlands.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. That was an adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah, reversing for several kilometres
Up a hill like that.
because there's nowhere to turn. Leo's looking out of his box. Where are we going then, human?
That's cute, isn't it?
Yeah. Now starting to go down, so our friend Goth, this is where he got stuck. He came down here, kept going down, and at the moment it looks kind of alright if you're going down until you see the other side, but it does get very rickety. So that's the end of the walk, unless we're going to go over them. But if you look down there, there is a row of processionaries.
They go all the way to the other side, look.
Yeah, look, so they go up there, and then they go all the way down there, over the grass, and then they carry on way down here. So turn round?
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe go back up the other way.
The good news is that we haven't seen any caterpillars all this way, so I can let one free range on the way back up.
Turned round early because of the caterpillars. We're just back at the wildlands, So you see that giant pine in front, that's like our roundabout. So back home. What are you doing, Missy?
I'm taking out 1,001 plant pots, putting them over there for a minute. We'll empty out the whole of the cold frame so that we can put our capillary matting down.
Well, that's exciting.
It is.
So all the little seeds have got to come out for a minute. We've got some good ones coming here. So my sunflowers and sweet peas that I showed you the other day, coming up nicely. And then over here, got nothing coming up yet. And then Rosie's ones have been watered today, but all very dry. Spinach has got lovely leaves, and more of Missy's greens have come up. Just fits through the
Like carpet.
yeah.
Or a blanket. Really nice. Is it recycled?
Yeah. Not very easy. I guess not too shabby. So both sides of the capillary matting are in, and it looks rather nice. And I think as well as keeping the plants from drying out on hot days and conserving water, it will also add a bit of extra warmth overnight because it's very fluffy. Mrs. put the gingers and turmerics back in. We've got lots of space, and all the seeds we just took out will go at this end. What are you up to, Missy?
I'm planting some carrots.
Oh, exciting.
So you can see my neat little lines which I've made. I just got a scrap bit of board and you just put it on the ground, give it a little wiggle, and then you get a nice straight line.
Nice.
Which is ideal for carrots because then you know exactly where they're going to grow.
And then when you put the seeds in, you just pinch it shut.
Pinch it shut, give it a pat. I pre-watered it. There we are, so that's one row. So these ones are giant carrots. These ones are Rodelica, just a bog standard orange carrot.
How many seeds roughly have you got in those lines?
I'm not sure. I put a pile of seeds in my hand, and I grabbed them and I kind of rub and sprinkle them, and you get 2 or 3 over every inch space. And then when they start coming up, you choose the strongest ones to stay, and you pull out anything that looks a bit weak and weedy, and you can either eat them in a salad or, you know, as a little snack when they get quite big.
It's exciting.
And then the front row is for radish. I'm going to put radish
nice.
in
And
there.
what's the square at the back for?
Oh, I thought maybe a bigger plant. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure yet.
Or
Maybe a courgette or salads or something.
I've been busy planting here too. So we've got here, those 8 brown pots are cold hardy palm trees. I've got 10 seeds of each one. I've just planted 2 of each so far, but I've got more to do. And then here we've got a whole pile of different tomatoes, including very odd giant ones from France, and more sunflowers. And that whole little tray there is all sweet peas. And then those you saw the other day. And then Missy's been busy here too. I'm not sure what she's planted, so I'll have to get her to show you.
Radish seeds. Cherry bell. 90 cents from the China shop. Bargain,
See if
isn't
they
it?
come up, innit?
Yeah. Come on. Sprinkly, sprinkly. Oh, and a few on the top for the birds. And the slugs.
Haven't seen any slugs or snails, have we?
No, we've seen 2 empty snail shells that look like they're about 1,000
On our
years
entire
old.
land.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll come.
Yeah, let's not tempt fate. It doesn't matter if the radish is so close together.
You just prick them out if they want.
Yeah, or just pull out a clump of 2 or 3 that have grown into each other. Doesn't matter. There we go.
So look at these beauties. Look how big they are. So this big boy or big girl is Cycas revoluta. Big. And Cycas revoluta is one of the oldest plants in the world. It was around when the dinosaurs were roaming the planet, and you quite often see these when you're on holiday, places like Spain, Portugal, those sort of med type countries, Greece and Turkey and so on, and you'll see like a giant version of this just above ground, and then the fronds coming out, which are palmish looking but much shinier, and it doesn't grow into a massive tree, and when it does indeed grow into a small tree, might take a couple of 100 years. It's very slow growing but very beautiful. So even one of these could be around in a couple of 100 years. So I'm just going to plant 2 of those now and see what happens. All experimenting here at Wildlands. So they're all planted, you can see them there. So that one's not very deep. And interestingly, palms don't require light to germinate. So it doesn't matter if you bury them too deep, as long as they're covered over. Usual rule of thumb is to plant them probably, in the case of these big cycas, probably about 1 inch below ground. So as cycas are quite a seriously hard seed to grow, I'm experimenting. So I've done one at 3 centimetres of soil above it and one at 1 centimetre, and I've marked that on the label, and then we can have a look and see if there's a result, whether they both come up, neither come up, when indeed they do come up, which could take quite some time. So you've been busy too, haven't you?
Have.
Had a look at your seeds, but what you planted?
What have I planted? I've got to look because I've done so many I've forgotten. Okay, so I did some lettuce, a couple of rows,
Yep.
leeks, spring onions, and all of these I've just done a sprinkling of seeds in each one because it doesn't matter if they bunch up. 2 rows of beans, some courgettes, some patty pan squash and some different courgettes, big chunk of chickpeas and a big chunk of peas. You see, you can just about see in there, see?
Oh yeah, coming up. Little peas.
But they're all going to grow all together in a big fat mat, which is fine. I can probably pull it apart a little bit, but I decided if they're happily sprouting that I would get them in 1 at a time in a module, and then I'll have 32 individual peas, and then I can spread them around where I like. But I have to let them get quite big and chunky in the cold frame before I put them out, because mice also like to eat them.
Yeah.
And if they're little and tender, the mice will eat them, and if they're big, with the bottom bit being a bit tough, then the most mice won't bother them.
Also, we hope.
So
all
the legend
learning
goes.
curve, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might remember a few weeks ago we got given some pak choys by Martin and Lee. Thanks again guys for those, and we decided to, as an oriental pak choy and not from seed, we wanted ours to flower, and here we are a couple of weeks later and he's in flower. So we're going to collect the seeds for that, and then we can sow our own and get oriental pak choy, which are absolutely divine in a Chinese or Japanese meal, or even in a salad. And look at the beautiful flower. So I'm back on the chicken coop. Still a bit more to do. So you'll have seen most of it was finished in a previous video, and what we're doing now is putting perches in. So we've done some research. We've got bantam crosses, so they're maybe a bit smaller than a standard laying chicken. So the optimum height generally seems to be somewhere between 12 and 16 inches, using 2x2 wood that's been rounded. So I got these banisters, which you can see there. So rounded here, and I've sanded along here, and the insides, this is the underneath, so they'll perch on here. And I think the optimum is 2x2, which is what that is, give or take. So I think we've decided, originally we were going to go front to back along here, but I think we've now decided to go sideways, put one here, going to put the second one here in the same place, and then they've got this whole big centre section to have jumping room, because obviously the ceiling is at an angle. So I think you could probably get four chickens on a perch if it had a square roof, but I think 2 to 3 per those 2 perches will be fine. And then from the top of here, so from the top of here to the floor is 15 inches, which is about perfect. So I'm just going to drill some holes in the sides here and then screw them in situ. So there we go, both the perches are in, rock solid as well. The other one over that side, nice and smooth, really sturdy, so even a fatty chicken isn't going to break that, and all nice. So back to sanding and then looking at painting. So do you know anybody that hoovers their chicken coop? I didn't think I did either. Is going down at Wildlands. We go through my rather fine gate. The seeds are in bed in their cold frame, and then the chicken coop has had one coat of varnish in some places and a little bit of green on the front, so you can get an idea of how it's going to look. So Rosie's artistic director on the decoration of the coop. So basically she's decided that the planks are going to be green, the legs are going to be varnished, all the flat wood here is going to be varnished, and all the relief wood and the detailed is going to be green. So green, that's had a first coat of varnish. It's all been cleaned out inside, as you saw earlier. And we've got ecological water-based varnish that is fine for children and babies and animals. So it soaks into the wood, it's clear, it's a bit like milk when you paint it on. So that's all done, seeds are in bed. So I've just lit the fire, chopped some firewood. And again, it's another one of those things that when you're in a house, even if you've got a fire, generally, we had a fire, but we got our wood delivered. And then you just stack it up and throw it on the fire. But here, if you want to start the burner, you've got to chop wood. So I didn't film that, but I chopped wood for about 15 minutes, not too much, just got a bag full to light the fire. As we're a bit depleted down in the wood store, because it's been chilly in the evening. So you can see, wood store empty, bags of pine cones empty. So the fire is blaring. So I don't know if I've mentioned before, so it's got a flue here which sucks the air and the oxygen in when the lid is shut, so you get like a hot box. So it's very hot at the side, lovely at night, and then because we put this lid on, it blows the warm air towards where we're sitting, and then you can look up at the stars when they come out a bit later. I'm real happy with my winner. I've got to rub my chops on the grass, it's very nice. And that's the limited amount of wood I chopped earlier. 2 trees which are fairly dry, and all my scrap bits of wood from the chicken coop. And then we're very depleted on sticks. And then where we sit by the burner, that's our view. Isn't that beautiful? And it is a shame that if you move to the right, I don't know if you can see it through the holly oak, but there's a farm over there, which is where the cows are that you hear mooing. So up on the hill over here. Nevertheless, when you're sitting in a chair, you can pan round. What a lovely, lovely view. What are you cooking tonight, Missy?
Well, not sure. Usually I have a recipe in mind, and today I'm going to make it up a la you. So I'm going to start with the usual base of onions and garlic, and then I'm just going to chuck in, I think, mushrooms and courgette, and maybe some beans, maybe some chopped tomatoes, and we'll just see what it kind of turns into.
I'm having biscuits. I like biscuits.
I'm cooking it in the wrong pan.
Yeah.
I put this pan out to make soup and then I changed my mind. Oh well. Red pepper?
Yep.
Yeah.
Choppy.
Can't wait till this is all our food.
That's good, isn't it?
Imagine if you just picked these out of your garden. Well, not the mushrooms because I don't think we can do them, but peppers and courgettes straight out of the garden.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Herbs and things. Quality control. Oh, that's getting a bit hot actually. Great thing about cooking in this kitchen is that everything's exactly where you need it. What are we going to have with it? Like, is it going to be pasta? Is it just going to be its own thing? I don't know. Alright, now we can turn the heat back up. And some herbs and spices. Let's shut that so I don't plonk my head on it. We're going to have oregano. And thyme. Salt and pepper. Let's have a bit of chilli in it as well. Hang on, we need to switch burners. Wow, look at that. Wow, loads of fire. Go, a bit of a sizzle. Bit of a stir. Oh.
What do you need the colander for?
Well, to drain my beans. See, they've got this glibbery kind of bean juice on them that I'm not all that partial on. So, hang on. Stir the thingies.
Yeah, give them a little wash.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, right, see?
Yeah.
Grody. Oh. Quick stir of this stuff. That's starting to look good. And then we just give them a little rinsey. Okay. Let them drain for a minute. Beans going in. Beans. Back in the cupboard. We've decided on tomato, haven't we? We'll go for polpa de pomodoro. Lovely. It's going to be like a really thick, almost like a minestrone soup, which funnily enough was what I was going to make. And then I changed my mind and made this. Must just be on the brain. Bit of water, just to loosen it up. Not as much as if I was making soup. Pasta in it?
Yeah.
Alright, then it needs more water. There's quinoa, which is not a very good crumbler. A little bit of quinoa.
So what's next? Off-grid chef?
Well, my soupy not soup is looking good, and it's just coming up to the bubble, so I'm going to go over to this cupboard over here and get some pasta.
This is a dangerous cupboard, isn't it? Because it's rather full.
I think some of this will be good. Like, I can't pronounce that. Cotovelinhos Schifferini.
Schifferini.
Schifferini! It's like macaroni.
That'd be good.
Yep. Just wait for this. Come on, bubble. Bubble.
So we often do one pot, don't we, where we put the pasta or the rice straight in.
Yes.
with the saucy stuff.
It's quicker and it's less washing up. Is it quicker? I think actually the pasta probably takes a little bit longer to cook than it would if it was in water.
Soaks up all the juices.
It does, and it saves on water as well, instead of having to fill a whole pan of water that you're just going to throw away again afterwards. And now we're just going to keep letting it bubble until the pasta's cooked and then we can eat.
Great, I'll come back in a minute then.
Okay.
Hello, why are you not sitting by the fire with me, eh? I'm waiting. So how long's that been bubbling away for?
Probably about 15 minutes, thereabouts, and I've kept stirring so the pasta didn't stick to the bottom. And I think it's about done.
So what is it, a kind of chilli soup?
Yeah, I guess. Chilli pasta soup. I have no idea what it is.
We quite often do random one pots. I do random one pots, and they're usually lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I just want to test. I don't want to burn my tongue. Oh, the sauce is good. And the pasta's cooked. Fabulous. Serve up. Bowls. Tin. For when you live in a van.
There we go. Thanks for cooking. And then over to the fire. We've got a mouse hunting dog. We've got a bag of logs that I chopped earlier. Pile of twigs. And then behind me, got remnants of piney cone bits. So how's dinner?
Delicious. Turned out alright.
It's very nice.
I'm not used to going off the cuff, but yeah, no, I'm pleased with it. Got a nice bit of warmth from the chilli. Tasty.
It's sort of halfway between chili pasta and minestrone chili, because it's slightly runnier than a pasta, but it's very nice, isn't it? Nice pasta, whatever it was called.
Yeah, pretend macaroni.
Coloroni. So that was very yummy. So yummy in fact that I had seconds. And there's my seconds. Nom 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 nom.